But now they're 7-6.
Yeah, they're in good shape.
Now they're 7-6. Washington is 6-7 in the 7th spot. Niners are in the 6th spot. Minnesota 6-7. Philly 6-7. Atlanta 6-7. New Orleans 6-7. They've beaten Minnesota. They've beaten Philadelphia. Washington lost to the Cowboys on Sunday, and they play Atlanta, who's 6-7, coming up next.
Pretty big, I would say, swing this week coming up. So you get the Niners game. The Niners can knock Atlanta out, right? And they should. Like, there's going to be no excuse. They're going to be favored at home. You got to fucking win that game. You're playing Matt Ryan. You're playing a below-average Falcon team. I looked at their not over-under, but their point differential. It's really bad. It was, I think, 100 points. It was really, really shitty. And the Washington plays the Eagles. So one of those teams has to lose. So if you win this game, it's why I said last week, if you would have won that Seattle game, it'd be over right now. Like, you'd be in cruise control. You're still fighting, but you win this weekend, someone has to lose the Eagle-Washington game. And I think for your sake, you kind of want Washington to just get knocked out there because you don't play them and you have the tiebreaker with the Eagles.
Yeah.
So I think you just root for the Eagles. And Minnesota, they play the Bears. Somehow, do you know who the Monday Night Football game is next week?
It's the Bears again? Because they're the Sunday night game.
It's the Bears are playing Minnesota. That's a terrible Monday Night Football game. The Minnesota's finished. They get the Bears twice, Rams, Packers. So they probably go 2-2. So they probably go 8-9. Worst case potentially.
Yeah. So what do you think the 7 seed will be? 8 wins.
I think the 7 seed. I think the 7 seed 8-9 might get you in.
Yeah.
I think the Niners have a chance to go 10-7 because they still got I almost said the Astros. They got the Texans, who is, you already know that game's going to be way closer than it should be, but they're going to win that game.
Well, will they do what Seattle did today when that game was closer than it should be, but then it finished 33-13?
That's what it feels like. Yeah, because at one point in time it was 10-10. I think they were losing.
Yeah, it was 16-13 at halftime. It was for 19-13 going to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So you can win that game. You win this weekend. That's 9. Can they either win Tennessee or L.A.? Now, the L.A. game, which we've already talked about, depending on what happens tomorrow, depending on the seeding, depending on a lot of things, that game might matter. It might not. There is a chance, an outside chance, that game is for the 5 seed, right? If L.A. loses tomorrow, slips up again. See, Darrell Henderson went on the COVID list, so they're running backs. Maybe we shouldn't put that bet in.
Oh, really? Did you not put it in already, or you did?
I haven't put it in yet.
I think 2 more wins get you in the playoffs if you're the Niners. 2-2 down the stretch because of some of the tiebreakers. I don't feel amazing about it. I'm just saying I think that's what happens. Football teams got the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants. Are they going to win 3 of those 4?
No.
I don't think so. Although they have won 4 in a row at one point this year against the Bucks, Panthers, Seahawks, Raiders.
I watching the football team, my takeaway is like they're probably a little scrappier than the Eagles. The Eagles have higher end talent. It feels like those two teams split, and they both probably end up right around 8-9.
Because the Eagles Dallas still play in 2 weeks.
Well, the Eagles play them twice. They play Dallas and they play the Giants. So, like, could the Eagles win 2 more games? I feel like the Eagles might be more likely to get to 8th than the football team.
Which is fine for the Niners. Actually better.
Yeah. And I feel like Minnesota probably gets to 8-9. They just have a lot of talent. They just got a couple guys that can, you saw on Thursday night. I mean, Cook and Justin Jefferson at any moment could be the best players on the field. They kind of have what the Niners have. Like, their best players can just take over a game.
Are the Cowboys going to need to play Week 18 against Philly?
No, probably not. I feel like Cowboys got hats and T-shirts maybe by Christmas.
Yeah. So
because they're an Eagles loss away from being in full control. If the Eagles win that game and they're 7-7, what's the Cowboys' record right now?
They're 9-4. I mean, they're 3 up in the loss column right now in second place. So they are.
And
well
they've already beat the Eagles once, so they can already split and be in cruise control. I think the Cowboys are in pretty good shape. Do you know who the Cowboys have this week? The Giants. I think the Cowboys probably the division might be over by the end of next week.
Yeah. So they won't. That's their week. Dallas week 17 or Philly's week 17 is Dallas. So Philly might win that game.
Yeah. Because Dallas has to play the following week. They're the 4 seed. You just rest your guys.
Protect Dak. McCarthy.
Which the Niners might run into.
Won't the Niners be playing for seeding, though, says David?
Probably not.
Home field?
Who?
Dallas. First round.
I mean, we just got to see where Arizona might have it locked up. It depends what their record is and Tampa record is, right? Tampa already beat Dallas.
Does Dallas automatically finish ahead of the Rams even if they have a worse record? If they're a division winner? I don't remember how it works with division winners. They do, right?
The division winners are
they could be
remember football team got a home game last year against the Bucs.
Good call. So they're in good shape.
Do you like that rule?
I mean, I actually don't mind it.
My issue with the rule is last year a football team were under 500. Like I don't mind it if
every time that happens, people hate it, but
I don't mind it if they're like 10-7. Like that's shit luck. But if you're 8-9, you win a division, you host a team that's 12 wins. That feels kind of shitty.
It does, but to me, it's enough of an oddity that whatever. It doesn't bother me. I don't think as much as it bothers most people. But divisions in the NFL don't matter that much. EK Beasy says, "Give me Mike McCarthy in the first round." I mean, you're probably not getting him, right?
Probably not. No.
2-7,
the Rams.
3-6, 4-5. You're not. Yeah, you might be getting LaFleur though. Green Bay.
Well, that's where the Seattle loss kills them. Because if they had won this game, instead of being 7-6, you'd be 8-5, and you'd just be right there nipping at their heels. But they do have if they were to upset the Cardinals tomorrow, they have a multi-game lead. It's just it's a lot to make up to with only a couple games left, right?
There is a weird level of it's not weird. I understand it. Level of Niner confidence when it comes to Green Bay, though.
I have a harder time with Aaron like this version of Aaron the last couple of years. How well he's played with this Niner defensive backfield feels like and the guy that had 24 touchdowns at Fresno State his sophomore season. 24 touchdowns. 24.
Yeah. I mean, I went to some of those games. North Dakota couldn't stop him, I think. But
New Mexico, I think he had 6 touchdowns. I mean, he ate him alive. Yeah.
It was just Derek Carr was just heaving bombs.
Well, let's just really quick
in the NFL now.
For the Niners, could they catch the Rams? Let's just look at the Rams. They have 5 games left. Okay. At the Cardinals,
Rams are 8-4. Niners are 7-6.
The Rams are an underdog. Could easily lose that game. Seattle, which what's crazy is Seattle is just. They still have stuff to play for, which is nuts because if they were on the table, they could get the 7 seed.
They get to 8 wins, yeah.
Then they play the Vikings, which
Russ has never finished worse than 8-8.
The Vikings are going to be playing for their fucking life. That game's going to be big. Then they get the Ravens, which, regardless of what you think about the Ravens, that team just does not die.
Where's that game?
At Baltimore. So they go back-to-back weeks. Week 15 and 16 at Minnesota, at Baltimore. Like that's
Baltimore just tough. Plays in scrappy, close, ridiculous games.
And even if he did roll his ankle and he misses a couple games, that's he's got some time to get healthy. And then they play the Niners.
I mean, Ravens came back with Tyler Huntley,
18.
And then they have who? The Cardinals, 18, week 18.
The Niners play the Rams week. The final week of the season. At SoFi.
Oh, gotcha.
So they go Cardinals, Seattle, Mini, Ravens, Niners. Tough little stretch.
Cardinals,
it's not easy.
Seattle, Minnesota,
Seattle's at home.
Ravens, Niners. Yeah, I mean Monday night. If they were to lose, then the Niners are really in pretty good shape, right? Because if the Rams lose, they're only 1 game better than the Niners, and the Niners know you play them at the end of the year.
Then you start rooting for Seattle to beat them.
Yeah. Now you got to win your games, but you'd be in control. That means you win out, which. Separate conversation, you take their spot, right? Because then you'd be even with them in the loss column, but you beat them twice head-to-head.
Yeah. Even though I'm not exactly sure how that works. Sometimes like conference record, I'll have to look into that.
You don't think the first tiebreaker's head-to-head?
I don't think it usually is, but I sometimes I get confused with that with the wild card stuff. I think it depends if there's more than one team, but if you're right, if it's just the you,
you're right. If there's a 3-team tiebreaker.
But there wouldn't be. It'd just be you versus the Rams. So I would imagine if you've beat them twice, what the fuck's the point of having divisional games? I played them twice, and if we have the same record, that's a long way. I mean, we got a long way to go before we get there.
So actually, but you're not crazy. So to break a tie for a wild card team, if the clubs are tied from the same division, apply a divisional tiebreaker.
So it would be divisional
record.
It'd be your divisional record, which the Niners are 1-4. Now, if the Rams were to lose tomorrow, they would be 1-3. And then Seattle plays them, right? So it's what you need to happen wouldn't. It's not like the Rams right now are 3-0 in the division, right? With just one game, they've also fucked up. You want to root for the Cardinals tomorrow, and then you got to root for Seattle. And then Seattle. Would it be the most impressive Seattle season ever if they ended up 9-8 in the 7th seed? Would that be remarkable?
I'd be remarkable. Would everyone get extensions?
Is it out of the realm of possibilities? Can I just read you out Seattle's last 5 games?
Yeah.
They beat the Texans, then they play the Rams, then they get the Bears and the Lions, and then they get the Cards, which, who knows, maybe they have the number 1 overall seed locked up that week. If they can beat the Rams next week, they have 2 wins back-to-back, Bears-Lions. If they beat the Rams, guy, and they're 6-8, they will be 8-8 going into that Cardinal game. Just get ready for that. Next week is their Super Bowl.
Wow. Where's that game?
Which one?
Next week.
It's in LA. Which I mean,
and that's not. Can we not flex a Monday night game? I mean, come on.
I know. I thought we could. That game's huge. That game is big.
Wow. This is fantastic. NFC playoff race could be incredible. Would all 4 of them get in that scenario? Is there a scenario where Seattle gets to 9? Yeah, the Rams are still getting in. The Niners would get in.
Yeah.
Cardinals are obviously in.
That'd be an incredible accomplishment for a division that looked like it was down and out to make all 4 teams. It's not the craziest thing.
I'm just trying to make sure that wild card scenario is not a 3-team tie that I just gave you. Might have to double check that.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. I mean, we're so fucking far away from the playoffs.
All right. If somebody's listening to this and I'm looking at the NFL tiebreaker scenarios here, it's just hard on the fly.
It's very confusing.
3 or more clubs.
It would be hilarious if the NFC West got all 4 teams.